he would say things like, do you really need a new dress? I mean,
I didn't do that a lot. It was more about shoes.
Why did you buy this new pair of shoes? And why do we have a cancer policy? You know, and that's.
I'm like, wow, we're paying all that money, and I we can invest it. But in a sense, it was an investment.
Yeah.
We were investing in our lives and also our future.
I was running my own business at the time, a nanny agency, and Paul Leahy, he and his wife, they had two young girls, and then they had baby twins, and they needed help. And so Paul contacted me to help them find childcare. Kind of when things settled down a little bit, he came and talked to me about what he was doing. And I'd heard of supplemental insurance, but I didn't know that much about it. So he kind of presented the products to me, and about that same time, Jeff was diagnosed with an enlarged heart from a viral infection in his heart. And so I was most interested in the heart supplemental insurance. And he said, well, with Jeff's condition, that's probably not gonna work. And so we also both had cancer in our family, and neither one of us had cancer. So he said, well, that's the winner. Well, we'll go with cancer. And so I purchased that insurance. And Jeff really didn't know anything about it. I kind of ran my business.
She came home and she said, honey, I bought some insurance. I go, well, how much is it? And she told me, and I go, we have all kinds of insurance. We don't need any more insurance. And she kind of looked at me and she goes, yeah, well, maybe, but it sounded like something, let's sit down and talk about it, which we did. And then it happened. We were both diagnosed with cancer. I was number 7 on the list for transplant, and they told me to come up and take the pre-transplant blood workup. And so I went up and took it, and that's when they discovered the cancer. My PSA was way off the charts. So that's when they took me off the list, and then I started my treatment.
He begged me to get these prevention tests
women's tests.
I had been putting it off because of all that we were going through with him. And so I finally said, okay, mainly for his peace of mind, I set up these exams, and it came back questionable. We were diagnosed within 2 weeks of each other.
2 weeks, yeah. I was first with prostate, and she was second with breast cancer. So, boom, happened all at once.
The value of the policy wasn't so much the money, it gave us reassurance that, that we were okay, that everything was going to be okay. And what Paul said was, you just worry about getting better.
Right.
I'll take care of any of this. If you don't understand something, I'll tell you what it means, I'll take care of it. And that was so helpful.
Great service. Anytime we called with a question or wanted to see him, he was available. To me, that's important, because then you feel like, okay, we're all in this together.
We got through our treatments, and as far as we know, we're both cancer-free.
Yep, I had just radiation, no chemo, and she had surgery. So we were kind of low on the totem pole when you walk in the cancer center and you see some of the fears in these people is, how's this gonna end? Financially, mentally, physically, all of them. And I think not having to worry about the financial thing was a biggie. I thought, well, our tomorrow is kind of guaranteed. We're not going to be left in debt forever and ever. So our tomorrows were safe. And that's what this policy did for us.
So we went there to be the one candidate that would be involved in a treatment trial. It was $1 million for Johns Hopkins to enroll one candidate. We wanted to be that candidate. When we got to Johns Hopkins, Mr. Henry Brim, look him up, he's a world-renowned cancer scientist, he said, I'm sorry, but you will not be the candidate. And we said, well, why? And he said, because the hospital has decided that you live too far away, and you can't afford the travel and living expenses to be coming back and forth and being in Baltimore for so long. You'll have to stay an additional 6 weeks. And I said, well, first of all, we can afford it. We were in the prime of our careers, but we have cancer insurance. And he said, cancer insurance, what is that? And I said, well, let me tell you. And I pulled out the policy and I handed it to him. And he goes, okay, well, we'll think about it. The next day they called us and we were in fact the candidate that was selected. You have to understand that the policies that you sell impact the lives of families all over the country. They impact their hope, and that's what you do every day.
I got a phone call from a client of mine. He's a teacher here in town, and his wife's a teacher in another district here in town. And he called me and said, we've just been talking. We're trying to eliminate some bills, and we want to cancel our family heritage policy. How do we go about doing that? So I said, oh gosh, it's super easy to do. But before you do that, I feel it's kind of my job just to review the policy to make sure that's exactly what you want to do. Would you be okay with me stopping by school to review the policy? And he said, yeah, that'd be fine. And I reviewed the policy with him, and he was just kind of like, wow, that's really good coverage. And you're telling me that this covers me, my wife, and 4 kids? And I said, yeah, it's a family plan. He goes, wow, we don't pay that much for it. We're going to go ahead and keep the policy. Well, August 25th, 2021, there's a cancer diagnosis in his family. His 16-year-old son, liver cancer. He's finally through his battle. Thank goodness. He's come out cancer-free right now, but he has battled hard from August 25th to the first part of May. This 16-year-old has had a liver transplant. And I was in his school and I said, hey, let's call claims right now. They might have an update on the claim. And I got off the phone with claims and I was about in tears, and I'm going, Dan, you are not going to believe this, but there is another $20,000 in your bank account because that liver transplant, they paid you $12,000. So they have a preferred 4 plan, which that's the highest dollar amount of surgery will be paid. And Dan was about in tears. I was about in tears, and he goes, Jackie, you just don't know what this means. His wife did not teach the entire year. Joe has been in the hospital about 100 days. And he said, because of family heritage, Holly didn't have to work. We've spent a lot of time in Children's Hospital. We walk by rooms with little children that have nobody sitting there with them. My wife was able to be with our son every day because of family heritage. That is the power of a policy review. So Joe's doing great, family's doing great, and so it's got a happy ending, but it wouldn't have been this happy had family heritage not been introduced to them. So.
When it comes to recruiting, I kind of have a personal philosophy that who am I to take an opportunity away from somebody, whether they were a nanny before this, in the restaurant industry, or even a hairstylist. And what I kind of look for is just somebody that has passion for what we do and a burning desire to want more out of life. When I was newer, I loved working with any business to where if they broke an arm, they just couldn't do their job. And that included everybody from hairstylists, painters, and I remember walking into a fantastic Sam's trying to catch the manager, Marcy, and super cool gal, just was always busy. So finally, I was like, Marcy, this makes sense to sit down. When's your last appointment opening for the day? And I actually scheduled myself to get a haircut to be able to show her the products. From there, one of the stylists was working that day, and it was Julia. And it was funny because right after I got done showing Marcy, Julia had just gotten done with one of her appointments and just showed her the policies, and she loved them.
I feel like it was smart, knowing that if I broke a wrist or even an ankle, I wouldn't be working for a while. So I'm really glad that I was smart enough to be like, oh, yeah, something might happen. You know, you never know. You never know.
When I first heard of Julia's accident, Julia's ex-husband called me because when she got in her accident, she was unconscious. And I really didn't speak to Julia at all because her mom was kind of handling a lot of it and I was in communication with that. That way she could focus on getting healthy.
I had gotten 3 claims for that accident. And after every one, there was that sheet of paper that said, do we have your permission to use your name and your claim amount to show other people? Something got me and I was like, if I could save one person from being financially ruined by writing this quick little note, sure, why not? And that's what I did. I just wrote a quick note. It saved my life worth every penny.
A couple years later, I decided to reach out to Julia, just explaining the impact that her claim has had, especially with agents that may be thinking about giving up on a day or a week or just quitting because they have a tough day. And I remember her telling me just how much this product helped her and about how many people she had told about our products. And I think in that moment, I saw the passion for what we do, and that's something that can't be taught.
He said, have you ever thought about like selling this like to people and helping protect them? And I said, are you kidding me? I told everybody after my accident, you need to get this insurance. He said, I'm going to send you some career overview videos and just let me know how you feel about it. And I watched them and it nailed everything that I had been working on in my life.
There's people that say they want to help people, but then there's people that truly want to help others. And I saw that in Julia, which is why I also asked her if she had ever thought about doing something like this for a living. And it was kind of a cool little full circle.
Sometimes I pretend that I'm wearing this invisible cape because none of my prospects can see it, but I can. I am a protector of families, a financial relief provider for people. That is why I do it. That's why I do it.
With Globe Life Family Heritage Division, we do cancer, heart, accident plans, ICU plans, that if you don't use them, you get your money back.
So $24,000 returned to you guys today. How do y'all feel about that?
Great, man. Come in handy nowadays.
So I'm here today to deliver a check to you for $16,236.
What you say? Oh my God.
When we receive a return of premium check in my office, it becomes a top priority.
When I get an ROP check, it's really exciting for me because I know it's something that we promise as agents, and to be able to fulfill our promise as a company has been priceless for me.
She hasn't used her policy and she's receiving a check for $18,561.
Are you kidding? Like, don't you wish all your insurance worked just like this? Like, that is the greatest gift you can ever get from an insurance company that will give you 100% of your premiums back if you never use it. $752.
You have got to be kidding me.
Well, I am here today to deliver a check to you for $6,992. Ooh.
But when you get to show those newer agents and they may be in a slump or is this real or still questioning maybe in their first 90 days to 6 months, is this something I want to stick with? For me, watching them watch, it's like they can't stop smiling because they totally understand we absolutely do what we say we're going to do.
So I am here today to present to you a check for $22,464.
look for these return premium checks. Tell your agency owner, hey, I'm available to deliver. And what that will do for you is help you understand that, hey, I represent a company that sells a product that comes through for people.
So there's a check with your name on it for $17,340.
Huh?
You're kidding.
What?
So I'm presenting to you guys a check for $30,000, $30,672 tax-free. We always say promises, made, promises kept, and it's just really awesome to be able to stand with a company that is. It's so true. The impact that we're able to make on people's lives is unlike any other. It's really awesome.
You have all these questions going in when you're new, and when you get here, it's totally different than what you expect. They make us feel like we are the CEOs.
It's amazing that this company even takes the time to do this with us. I'm so excited to be here.
I'd say that it's immeasurable, the amount that I've learned here, from social media to learning how to coach and train to kind of looking inwards at yourself and saying, am I doing the best I'm doing? Having interactions with leadership outside of work, I think, is super important because it shows you the human side of things. You don't get that with any other company.
The last 2 days have been absolutely phenomenal, and I have met some amazing people that I'm going to keep in touch with probably for the rest of my life.
Globe Life makes sure that my focus is on what I'm doing and what I'm learning, and they take care of the rest. So it's a spider web of people that absolutely love each other, and they make sure that I'm taken care of, so it's been a blessing to say the least.
I've learned so much. This is the life, and I want more of it.
Our mission is to provide college scholarships and educational counseling to military kids who've lost a parent in the line of duty. $63,000. That's a little over 10 years of college for the kids that we support. It's life-changing for them.
Earlier today, I put together a backpack for the fallen patriot children that's going to college. To give money financially is great, but to actually give your time is just gratifying.
We're making a difference when we sell our policies, but we also make a difference when we come to a community. We give back to that community and we make it better.
It's an honor and a privilege to be able to meet the people that are supporting our organization. And I'm just so incredibly grateful to all the support that they give to Children of Fallen Patriots.
I've always thought that helping others is a true benefit of being here on earth, is helping someone else with. If you have an opportunity to do that, you should.
There's lots of sales jobs, that you can do. You can make a great living in lots of different careers. But I wanted to go to sleep at night knowing that what I did was going to make an impact on families.
We get to help families through some of the most costly diseases and accidents that people go through. And it's fun getting to have that ownership of doing something that matters.
I've seen family after family, business owner after business owner deal with things like cancer, heart, and accidents, and what that does to a family financially. We solve that problem.
There's a huge blessing in knowing that my paycheck is directly correlated to how many people that we help. And so being part of a company that has a purpose to where we serve is just a true blessing.
We are in beautiful Cancun, Mexico, and we are celebrating all of our accomplishments here at Family Heritage.
You get in and you're greeted by a super friendly staff. T-shirts and bags and cups and all the cool stuff. They just go all out and they just genuinely want you to have a good time.
Globe Life Family Heritage, baby. Viva la Cancun.
Family Heritage Year-End Conference, Moon Palace, Cancun. Let's go.
I've been with the company for 6 years and it feels amazing. Every trip is unique in that, you know, there's new life coming in, new blood coming in. And every year I just get more and more inspired. The ocean develops.
Family Heritage is absolutely amazing. They do so much for us throughout the year. So it's just awesome to be able to come out here after working so hard every single day to get as many families protected from the bad stuff as we can.
That was exhilarating. Kind of like snowboarding.
This is next level. Robots walking around. Who doesn't want to meet robots? Like, that's cool.
Esta es la mejor oportunidad de América de Seguro Suplementario. Es decir, que se abre una oportunidad para nuestras personas, ¿verdad? Que latinos que con esta compañía puedan alcanzar ahora el sueño americano, la libertad financiera.
Never quit. If you quit, you're quitting on yourself. Don't stop until the last day. No matter how hard it feels, no matter what it looks like, no matter where you stand right now at this moment, you keep pushing and you keep pushing and you keep pushing.
The ability to be able to protect families, change lives for the better, and have this opportunity to recognize our people is just a small token of appreciation to say thank you for everything that you do.
I don't know where you're at in this business, if you've been here 5 years, 5 months. The real value of what you will experience in this company comes later, but you have to be willing to work for it.
I've never done good with public speaking, and so for me, just to be able to, stand up amongst giants, it's why I love Family Heritage, is that you cannot not be here and not be a better person.
This is not about us, right? But it is a pleasure to work with you, and this is a great company that we have, and we should thank God for it.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. These children will really appreciate it, and I do.
This group has moved the needle in such incredible ways with just service, growth, and ownership, baby. Congratulations, this is your award, and I'm just excited to see what happens in the future.